Hey guys, it's Ashley from acbsgotbookcitement, and I am here with my April wrap-up. So, in April I read 6 books, which is so good for me. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and I'll tell you what I read. The first book that I read in April was Sweet Reckoning. This is by Wendy Higgins. This is the third book and the final book in the original Sweet Evil trilogy. I know that there is another book coming out, but I don't really count that as part of the original trilogy because what I know of that book is it's going to be Kaiden's point of view of everything that happened in the whole first 3 books. So it's just going to be from Kaiden's point of view. So I finished the original series. That's what I'm trying to say. And I ended up giving 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good end to the series. I'm not going to tell you what it was all about because that would spoil things since this is the 3rd book, but what you need to know is it's about a girl named Anna. She finds out that she is part demon, part angel, and her quest in life kind of is to bring down the demons and do stuff like that. And she also finds love with a demon child named Kaiden who is in a band, has a British accent, and is cute. Yes, so cute. So I did enjoy the series. I thought it ended very nicely. We got an epilogue, and I love epilogues because they give me a little bit of closure, a little bit of what they're doing in the rest of their lives, which I need. I enjoyed it. I think it is a very cute, very good, fun series to read. You'll fly through it, you'll be entertained, and I just like it. Yes, I do. The next book that I read was Lock and Key Volume 1 by Joe Hill and Gabriel Garcia. It was called Welcome to Lovecraft. I ended up giving that book a 4. I really enjoyed it. It's about this family, and they end up moving to the Key House after a tragedy befalls them. And it's about these 3 siblings kind of discovering the secrets of the Key House, and there are keys that will open random doors that lead to really crazy, really bizarre things. And yeah, you're just kind of along for the ride. It was creepy, it was strange, and it was highly enjoyable. So after that one, I read Lock and Key Volume 2, Head Games, also by Joe Hill and Gabriel Garcia, and I ended up giving that one a 4 out of 5 as well. Head Games is slightly stranger than Welcome to Lovecraft. Welcome to Lovecraft has more of a crime murder kind of story to it, and then in Head Games it's weirder, and the little boy finds a key that can open people's heads, which is just, that's a weird key to find. I don't know. I mean, they found a use for it in the book, but in real life, would I need a key like that? No. But still, very enjoyable, and I plan on continuing with that series because it's fun, and I like it. The next book that I read, I actually have a copy because it's my own book. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Yeah, I finished The 100 by Cass Morgan. This is the first book in the 100 series. I say series because I'm not exactly sure how many books are going to be in this. I was reading this one with Keisha from the Forsaken 707, and I just couldn't wait anymore for Keisha to finish it, so I went and I finished it myself. Yes, you should go shame Keisha because she is still reading this. And yes, but she did say that if she doesn't finish reading it soonish, then we're just going to go ahead and watch the first season anyway. So the awesomeness of that. 100 is, for those of you that don't know, it is about the Earth has been decimated by nuclear attacks, nuclear kind of bomb kind of things. So the surviving population retreated to space, and they've been living in space in the book for almost 400 years. Then they get this crazy idea because resources and oxygen and food and all that stuff are running out on the ship. So the leaders are trying to think of a way that they can survive. So they decide to do a test, a trial run, and they send 100 juvenile delinquents down to Earth. And if they survive, then the people on the ship knows it's okay to come down, we can survive too. And then we're kind of just with the kids as they are struggling to survive, kind of lawlessness has set in. And yeah, it's a fun. So I ended up giving the 100 a 4 out of 5 as well. I enjoyed it. It is different from the TV show. And let me just say, TV show, be my #1, always. The TV show is awesome. But if you want a book that has the same 100 feel, but a slightly different story and different characters, then check out the book, because I ended up really enjoying it. I wasn't expecting to get the TV show in the book, and so I wasn't disappointed that this wasn't an exact replica of the TV show, if that makes sense. We have 2 characters in here that are not part of the TV show world at all, in Glass and Luke. Clark, Wells, Bellamy, and Glass are our main characters, and Clark, Wells, and Bellamy are all on the ground, and Glass is still up on the ship. So we get different viewpoints of what's happening. It's all told from the 4 different perspectives. There's a lot of flashbacks in it, which I honestly did enjoy. And yeah, if you like the 100, then give the books a shot, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. You could if you're that critical, but I liked them. Next book that I read was Jacoby by William Ritter. This is the first book in a series. I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5. I really liked it. I almost loved it. Well, I pretty much loved it. It is about this girl named Abigail Rook. She longs for adventure. She's not allowed to have any because she's a girl, so she takes her tuition money and she decides to go for an adventure. But the adventure turns out to be not that great, and so she ends up in New Fiddleham, New England, and there she meets up with R.F. Jacoby, who is a strange individual. And she kind of ends up getting involved in this murder investigation that he is kind of in. He kind of pushes his way in and then just stays. So he is an investigator of the supernatural, so there's a lot of supernatural fun going on in this book, and I really liked it. I read it pretty fast, and it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the sequel, which I think is coming out sometime this year. I don't know what month, but I'm really excited for it. And then the last book that I managed to read in the month of April was Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. This is the first book in this trilogy, and I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was a pretty good beginning to a trilogy. I had a couple, not issues, but just things that made me not enjoy it as much. But what it's about this girl named Aria. She is looking for her mother and concerned about her mother, so she's trying to get in touch with her mother, but that doesn't end up working out, and she kind of gets kicked out into this wasteland, this wilderness land. And there's this boy named Perry. His nephew is kidnapped, and he's trying to get him back, and so he's like journeying, and they meet together, and they have to band together to survive because each one has something that the other needs. It's a post-apocalyptic kind of dystopian book. I really enjoyed it. It took me about 50 pages or so to really get into it, and I think that's just because Aria's world wasn't really explained that well, at least for me. I just kind of felt like I was thrown into it at the beginning, but Perry's world is really cool, and I'm glad we got to spend a lot of time in it. They live under this aether sky or whatever. I don't know. There's ether storms, however you say that word. But it's just like the sky like pulsates with this light and this electricity. But then storms come and these funnels appear and destroy things, and yes, it's just awesome. So I am excited to continue on with the rest of that series because I did enjoy it. And I grew to like the characters more the farther along in the book it went, and the end of the first book left on a cliffhanger kind of thing, so I have to see what happens next. Yes, so those are all the books that I read in April. Tell me if you've read any of those books below. Tell me what you thought of them. And just, yeah, I like to hear thoughts from you, comments, you know. So I will see you guys later. Bye!